Hello, and welcome back to Writing with Witches, where a couple of witches talk about writing books. My book this time. Yay. I'm one of your hosts, Leona Urbansky, with my debut novel, Fire Magic, out and about in the world now, wherever you can purchase books, which is weird. My co-host is.
I am Nicole. Excuse me. So
Did you
sorry.
throat punch yourself?
I am Nicole Autumn. I am the author of the completed Secret Society series. Yay! So, jumping into book news. My book news is all of the Secret Society series is completely 100% republished out there wherever you can buy books at this point. Yay.
Yeah.
So now I get to start working on my first drafts again. I'm so excited. So very, very excited.
I don't blame you. I would be too.
Yeah. So book news for you.
Um, Still working on Fate Touched mainly. I haven't started reading Blood Magic yet because I've been absorbed with Fate Touched and commenting and seeing where I can add additional lore to the book.
We love lore. We do love some good lore.
So, yeah, no, not a whole lot of book news for me today.
So should we jump in and tell them what this episode's about?
Yeah, you go for it.
And do not mistake her lack of enthusiasm as her not being like caring. She's nervous. So this episode, I will be essentially interviewing her about Fire Magic, the Death Gate Trilogy, and her process, etc., as an author.
Yay.
You're like, oh no.
Hey, you did the same thing.
I know. I was sweating so bad during mine that like at the end I had literal like pit sweat. And that rarely ever happens to me. So, unless I'm like in crazy hot weather. So, I was very nervous. So would you like to do a little author intro about who you are for potential new viewers?
Okay. My name that I go by is Leona Urbansky. Um, I have been writing as far back as I can remember. I still have notebooks of stories from elementary school that I have somehow kept around over the years. So I never really stopped reading or writing. Um, it has just been a hobby, and it's been a lifelong dream to publish a book. So it's really weird to have like one of those distant, far off, wish upon a star dreams actually coming to fruition. So
Almost,
yeah, having fire magic out in the world has been a journey, and but yeah, otherwise about me, I do a lot of different things. I try to stay very active physically. I do aerial martial arts. I ride horses. I do belly dancing. Uh, I read and write. I'm very much a fiber artist. If there is some kind of fiber involved in an art, I've probably played with it. Spinning, crochet, knit, weave. I have a little tool to start tatting to make some lace that I am gonna try. Um,
she's also sick at sewing.
I do love to sew. I'd like to make my own cosplays and my own dresses and that kind of thing. Very much an animal person. We currently have 3 dogs and 2 cats dropping their hair in various places around my house. I think we can make another dog by the time I sweep up the kitchen, usually, or at least a cat, if not a dog. Um, 2 of them are Dalmatians. One of them is a lab. I love my Dalmatians, thanks to a friend that got me hooked on them. Um, got two kids running around the house, adding to the chaos as they like to do.
As expected.
Um, and it's really weird because I always thought I'd be a horse mom because I was into the horses. And my kids are turning me into a sports mom because my daughter just finished up her basketball season. They're in the middle of swim season right now. And we're doing softball in the summer. And I'm like, wait, what?
You're literally a sports mom as you're wearing your a
Yeah,
basketball shirt.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So she went to Special Olympics state this year. So we had to get memorabilia.
of course. That's important.
So this is their first year doing sports because we were in an area that didn't really support special needs sports. And now we are in an area that does. So it's
So now
nice.
they get to do all the fun stuff.
They do get to all the fun stuff. Man, I would have killed to have a swim team in my high school.
Yeah, I don't think we had swim, but we had tennis and golf.
Yeah.
Those were the ones that were like, wow, we have those? Sure enough.
So yeah, that's me. As much as I feel comfortable.
Oh, it's frozen.
Yeah,
Oh no.
I froze for a
There we go.
second.
Okay,
There
I
you go.
was hoping it would come back.
Yeah, yeah. The internet in the basement is not great, so
Yeah.
I still have to run that hard line.
Um, so as you mentioned, you were talking about fire magic, and this is your first book in the Death Gate Trilogy. So can you tell us what fire magic is about?
I'm gonna cheat and read off the back cover.
That's fair.
A veteran of the Mage War, Brenna Hunter vanished from the magical community so she could live a magic-free life and raise her daughter in peace. When her daughter is kidnapped by Kira, a mage bent on vengeance, Brenna has to draw on her long dormant magical skills to rescue her. Now, Brenna finds herself caught up in the fight between Kira and the Belfries as she fights to find her daughter and bring her home. As Brenna starts to hunt for her daughter, she finds herself being pulled back into the magical community. The further down the path she goes, the more she finds out that her daughter's disappearance is not about Brenna's part in the Mage War, but instead is one piece of Kira's plan to destroy the world on her path for revenge. Drawing on new and old sources in the magical society of the Belfries, Brenna joins three brother mages who've been drawn into the plot, as well as her former lover from the war, to find out just how to stop the vengeful, power-hungry mage.
So good. I love it.
Pretty sure you helped me write it, so.
I did. Yeah, I did. Still love the book though. It is great. So what inspired you to actually write fire magic?
Straight up, the Dragonlance trilogy, the original Dragonlance trilogy by Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman. The first draft of Fire Magic was a straight copy paste from the Dragonlance trilogy. It has evolved.
Good thing it's not the same now.
No, it has evolved. And then one twist I decided to take with it is I had a bunch of high school buddies. I started this in high school. Make up characters. And so this was my first try at inserting other people's creations into a story and making it work. And it didn't seem strange to me at the time because I did a lot of online role playing in the forums.
Mm-hmm.
Like I did the one trilogy that I was really part of of the fan base was the Firebringer trilogy by Meredith Ann Pierce.
Mm-hmm.
Still friends with several of those people today.
Wow.
It's how I started making friends across the world, literally. And so it wasn't unusual for me in my mind to get other people to make something up and then me trying to make it work within my story. That said, I doubt the high school buddies who made these characters would recognize them today. Names changed, appearance changed, roles changed.
Yeah. It got tweaked. Yeah. So, how long did it actually take for this book to get to where it is now? Published.
To show my age, I graduated high school in 2003. I started this before I left high school. It has just now been published in 2026. So, 23 years?
Wow.
It's been on the back burner for a long, long time. It has gone through a lot of drafts. My mother likes to say every time she reads it, I change something. And after a while, she's like, I'm not going to read it again until it's officially published. Which now it is, so she can safely read it again because there are changes in it that she doesn't know about now.
Yeah. So, a little follow up to that. So, when did you actually start seriously writing on fire magic again? Where you're like, you know what? I want to make this come to life and like legitimately be a published book.
Probably 3 years ago, um, is when I really got the writing bug again. Like, I never really totally stopped, but it definitely got put on the back burner because of life.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually got hit by the writing bug because I was inspired to write some X-Men fan fiction, which I did.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of those stories that you were up until 2 a.m. writing these things because they wouldn't stop coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came back to Fire Magic and I rewrote the whole thing from scratch basically. I looked at what I had, pulled the characters, pulled the basic concept in and just rewrote the whole thing. Like I keep my works in progress in a OneNote and I have all of the archival drafts of Fire Magic, and there's probably 5 of them in there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, probably 3 years ago, because I started querying 2 years ago. I probably finished it in about a year. Started querying 2 years ago. Gave up for a while because of all the rejections. And Nicole kind of inspired me, and I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna independently publish it, and it has snowballed from there, my friend.
It has. It 100% has.
Yeah, because it is now actually published by a publishing house that we created. So,
Hell yeah.
yeah.
Um, so going more into the story itself, what was the driving force behind making Brenna a mother? Because we don't see, fantasy novels taking place with, let alone an older woman of her age, but also a mom too.
Exactly that, because I wanted to put something different in my story. I actually made Brenna a mother before I was a mother, because I wanted to explore that mother-daughter relationship in fantasy. Granted, you don't really get to see a lot of the relationship since, the daughter gets kidnapped,
Yeah.
but you see little bits and pieces and understand a little better the drive behind Brenna's actions and what she clings to, um, which for her just gets more and more confusing as the book goes on as to what her real motivations are and what she's doing and really what's happening around her. But yeah, you didn't see mothers being the protagonists, the heroes in fantasy. Um, Kind of coming back to the Dragonlance trilogy, I remember the one character um, that you knew was a mother in the original trilogy. Hi, cat. Um, just heard him jump
Scared you?
down. Yeah, a little bit. Um, she actually steps aside once she realizes that she's pregnant, which I
Mm-hmm.
get, but she doesn't come back after she's had the baby either. And
Yeah.
there he is. Um, So I was like, she was this badass warrior barbarian, and suddenly she has a kid and she's out of the picture.
Yeah.
Um, Another example from more modern literature, Feyre from Akatar in Court of Silver Flames. She gets pregnant and suddenly she is just sidelined and can't seem to do anything right. Oh geez, there was another one. The Rhapsody Trilogy by Elizabeth Hayden. She got through the first three books, and I started reading the fourth book, and Rhapsody, the main character, became pregnant, and it just crippled her.
Oh,
Like, she
jeez.
was just totally blind, literally blind and helpless because she was pregnant. And so, just all of these stories about women as they're becoming or are already mothers being sidelined, being weaker, being unable to function, and in as a feminist, nothing against people who don't want to have children. I have plenty of friends who are child free by choice.
Yeah.
Um, but being a mother is one of the strongest mothers are some of the strongest people I know because of all they do sacrifice and put aside and fight for their children because of that relationship. I'm not saying every mother. There are some out there that
On average.
on average,
Yeah.
and I wanted that to be seen.
So, a question off the cuff. Did you pull the mother daughter relationship from inspiration, like your own relationship with your mom, or was there like this ideal mother character that you had in mind for Brenna?
It was actually kind of pulling at the relationship between me and my mother is how it started.
Okay.
At when I became a mother and was on the other end of this, it changed and it evolved to what I felt is probably more accurate than before.
Okay.
But yeah, originally it was kind of exploring the relationship between me and my mother.
Well, that's interesting. I didn't know that. um
Yeah, she doesn't either.
um so off different topic, different tangent. What was the driving no, wrong question. What is a little bit of the backstory behind making the love triangle between Druce, Brenna, and Kessler? And how did that evolve over time?
I hate love triangles. I had no intention of making a love triangle, and you read this book and you're like, it's a love triangle. And I'm like, shit.
Just me pointing out the obvious with, big neon lights. It's a love triangle.
And originally, Druce was just supposed to be kind of an exposition drop. He was
Mm-hmm.
supposed to show up, be an old friend from the war, tell her what's going on because she's been absent from the world for 100 years, absent from the magical society, and then he was just supposed to go back to the Belfry.
Yeah.
And it's one of those when the characters show up and all of a sudden you get let in on this secret. And you're like, wait, what? Because I didn't know until Druce and Brenna met in that forest clearing that they had been lovers.
Oh, you're like, okay, that's where we're going with this.
And Kessler at the beginning of the story is kind of out of the picture. Um it's even more out of the picture as it evolved, but no, I had absolutely no intention of. I thought she was in love with Kessler, and that was her lifelong soulmate, and she was going to do anything. Yeah, and then Drew shows up, and it's just this giant, gentle giant of a man, and she's like, "No, that's who I love," and I'm like,
That's a monkey
"Okay,
wrench.
yeah." And then so I started writing that, and I didn't even think it because Kessler doesn't show up in the story very often.
Mm-hmm.
He's mentioned a lot. He's referenced, but I think there's only like 2 or 3 instances where you actually interact with him in the story.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it just never even occurred to me until you're like, I don't mind this love triangle, and I'm like, it's a love triangle. Wait, what?
I was down for it, and I will 100% say I am Team Druce. Fuck Kessler.
I mean, Brenna's with you on this one, so
I mean, it took her a while to get there,
there
but
were
she eventually
reasons.
gets there. It'll make sense when you read it. It takes
Yeah,
a
exactly.
while, and she things are brought to light for her. Team Druce all the way. I want to get a T-shirt, like one of those fangirl T-shirts with Druce on it.
But when we get the fan art, when we get the character art that I have commissioned, then we will do that.
Yes, I need it. I gotta have it.
We will make you a shirt that specifically says Team Drews.
Yes, I love it. Um, Let me see. Where was I at? Oh, who is your favorite character out of all of the characters you've written in Fire Magic? Who is your favorite?
I mean, Brenna is kind of the top contender for that. I love them all, but Brenna's the driving force. She's the one that brings the story forward. Tied for second is probably Druce and Keen because they are my loves.
Yeah, I need a Keen shirt too.
um, but yeah, Brenna because of who she is, of how human she is, for all that she's as old as she is. Mages live a long time in the world of fire magic, and she's about 300 years old. Um, she is still figuring shit out
Yeah,
and doesn't like it. She's like, I should have already dealt with this. Why is this suddenly coming up? And that just I'm not saying I'm 300 years old, but I'm old enough. I'm like, why is this shit happening again? Why am I still dealing with this? So I
yeah,
feel that.
that makes sense. I can see why you would connect with her on that level.
But yeah, Druce and Keen, Druce, just because he is so loving while still you don't cross him.
Mm-hmm.
Senis finds that out. So does Padriac eventually. But and then Keen, just naive little boy that is so arrogant. So arrogant. For good reason.
Yeah,
But still.
he is. So then, who is your least favorite character?
Probably Kessler at this point. He once we kind of thought out what he did to Brenna, he
Mm-hmm.
definitely dropped down the list.
I 100% thought you were going to say Senis. 100%.
No, Senis is an arrogant little prick, don't get me wrong. And he's done some irreparable things. But Kessler was malicious about what he did. And it
Yeah.
was intentional.
Mm-hmm.
So Senis is just a weak little worm. Kessler is that, if we're going to continue with the insect analogy, is that scorpion that comes up at you from behind.
That makes sense. Yeah. Um, so what scene or character interaction are you most proud of writing?
Okay, spoiler then is the Soul Bridge scene the first time.
Oh yeah.
That is probably one of my favorite interactions between Druce and Brenna. And Druce finally confronting her over some of the shit that she's been pulling.
Yeah.
And not being a walk over like he has been in the past. And he loves her to death,
Mm-hmm.
but he still has some sense of self that he is tired of. He deserves some answers for what happened in the past.
Yeah.
And he pushes on that. He doesn't get the answers. She doesn't give it to him, but that he does stand up and expose Brenna for refusing to see what's in front of her,
Yeah.
which was an important step for Brenna. I mean, that was one of the first times that she really stepped back and is like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
So,
What are some key aspects to the world of Arithis that you want your readers to know about?
there's a lot to this world, which is as expected. It's a whole world, and I have a whole set of notes of stuff that will never be seen in the Death Gate Trilogy because the Death Gate Trilogy is focused on the magical society.
Mm-hmm.
It is based in the constructed world of the belfries of magic. So, Brenna interacts with mages. She goes after mages. She's a mage hunter. Her lover's a mage. Her other lover's a spirit. The only time you see them interact with normal humans is with the brother's mother and
Mm-hmm.
sister. And so you kind of get an idea of how normal humans view mages in that light, but you never go out into the bigger world. They avoid normal human villages. So, and I don't know if I'm ever going to write a story from a normal human from the Deathgate trilogy because that's not what the story is about.
Yeah.
That's not what this world is about. But I mean, there's a whole other culture and society that stays separate. It's very much segregated between the two worlds by choice. Um, you're not penalized, if you interact, but it's definitely long-standing prejudices and biases that kind of keep that from happening, which
Yeah.
is ironic because a mage can be born anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
They can be born to a normal human family and be the only mage born in that family. So I don't know. Maybe I will write from that perspective someday. But yeah, I mean, there's a whole religion out there. There's a whole its own craft of witchcraft out there. There's a whole practice of it that's dealing with a whole other magic than what the mages deal with. Um, there's other continents out there. Like we're only on one continent of this world,
Mm-hmm.
and they have explored enough. They know there are other continents out there. The dragons have their own society, which we only get a glimpse of. So yeah, there's just too much. It's a whole world,
Yeah.
and we're only really seeing one sliver of it. We're seeing it through one person's eyes, and that's Brenna.
Yeah.
And she has her own prejudices and biases against humans for reasons
Yeah.
in the past, but and she has her own prejudices and biases against mages
Yeah.
and how they've treated her in the past. So, yeah, I'm a little off topic there, but it's just there's just too much to. I could write for the rest of my life stories from this world
Yeah.
and not cover all of it because it's been percolating in my head for 20 years.
Damn. That's a lot.
So, yeah, and I do have one story I'm writing that you're going to see some of the witchcraft in
Mm-hmm.
this world. But it is still tied up with the Society of the Mages. So
Mm-hmm.
the Belfries.
So taking all that into consideration, when you were writing Fire Magic, what was the most difficult scene to write?
Logistically, the final battle scene with the
Mm-hmm.
three brothers and Brenna all fighting together and making sure that everyone is doing something that's reasonable for their reaction and their personality and how they would react to this situation. making sure that I'm still remembering the dragon that's up in the air and how that one's reacting, how the mages around her would be reacting. So just logistically keeping their behaviors true to who they were
Mm-hmm.
and not me going, oh, I really need someone to do this and putting someone in that position, but it wouldn't be something they would normally do.
Yeah.
Like they would not have that same reaction.
Mm-hmm.
So, so yeah, keeping it's kind of like playing D&D by yourself. You have to play each character without thinking, knowing what the other characters are thinking and making them react appropriately.
Yeah. So, taking that into consideration with making sure that they're acting the way that fits their personality, what aspects of you are reflected in Brenna?
Stubbornness and clinging to our beliefs until it has been drastically disproven. Like you have to hand me irrefutable evidence before I will let it go.
That's fair.
Yeah, so just that stubbornness, that perseverance, that picking yourself up, going, I can't just stop. I gotta
Yeah.
keep going.
I mean, that's not a
Is
bad
probably
quality
what
to
we
give
relate
her.
to. It gets annoying 'cause sometimes you do just want to be like, I'm just done, and you can't just be done because that's not life.
Yeah. Um, so what were some of the themes that you wanted to incorporate into fire magic?
The mother-daughter relationship was the biggest one.
Mm-hmm.
Familial relationships was probably the biggest one, but also relationships in general because I do have a lot of familiar relationships in there because Brenna and Davina, I can't even remember her daughter's name. Brenna and Davina, Keen and Lachlan and Carrie, and their interactions with their each other as well as their mother and sister. Um, Bruce's interaction with all of them because he considers a lot of people his students, so his interactions with the people at the Belfry. Technically, Sennis was his student at one point in time.
Mm-hmm.
Like he trained Sennis. Um, but yeah, just the relationships and exploring that and how everyone reacts to old betrayals as well as new, and how they work through those to see if they can find forgiveness or not. You can't always forgive.
Yeah.
There are some things that are frankly unforgivable, and that does happen in this book. There is something that is unforgivable
Yeah.
in a personal relationship between two of them. And so yeah, just working through those relationships and how people interact and character studies and yeah, that's all I can think of.
Yeah. That's a lot.
It is a lot.
um, so you have a unique magic system. How did you come to develop your magic system?
I don't know. I actually created it a long time ago. And I know one of the things you're referencing about the magic system is how mages store their magic in their
Yeah.
braids and in their hair. And honestly, that just came from like having like a really cool visual of a streak of shining, sparkling silver in someone's hair
Mm-hmm.
and being like, oh, that looks magical.
Yeah. I didn't realize that, but that, yeah, I can see how that would be the inspiration.
And then the more I got into witchcraft and binding things into braids, it just continued to make more and more sense. And then healing magic is so different. Originally, healing magic was actually bronze
Mm-hmm.
colored. And I decided that that was too close to gold
Yeah.
to make it easily identifiable. So that's why it changed over to blue green. And then because of the way healing magic reacts once it's exposed to the world, they can't store it in their hair like sorcerers and elementalists can.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask me why. I don't know. That's just the way it turned out. Maybe I just wanted Carrie to have short hair. I don't know.
I mean, it's a possibility considering all of the men in this have long hair if they're mages.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is a personal preference. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe it was also I had to have a reason for the men to have long hair. Like I
Yeah.
wanted a reason. I wanted them to like because Lachlan hates how long his hair is. It's such a pain. He hates it with a passion. But he also knows if he cuts it, he can't store as much magic.
Yeah.
So he deals with it.
He's like, this long ass damn hair.
Yeah. He hates it. Um but it kind of split off into three with the three belfries.
Mm-hmm.
Sorcery is what would a lot of people consider the most powerful because it is just raw magic shaped and limited only by the mage's imagination.
Mm-hmm.
Elementalism is exactly what it sounds like. It's tied to the elements of the world, and that mainly speaks to the four elements, but is also very tied to nature. Like they do a lot of nature work and working with spirits and the world and that kind of thing. And then healing is straight up just healing.
Yeah.
Although there is one quirk to healing that Carrie does bring up at one point, and because Lachlan asks, "Well, you can knit skin together. Can't you just make it come apart?" And Carrie's like, "Yeah, you can do that." So healing can go a whole different way. It's two sides of the same coin in this world. It's yeah. Um but yeah, I liked the idea of being able to have magic stored. I didn't really realize the process of how they cast magic until I was writing the scene the very first time she practices magic in the book with the arrows.
Mm-hmm.
And the three-step process of how she casts magic. And that's when I was like, okay, that fits perfectly with why she stores magic in her hair.
Yeah.
So it all kind of just eventually fit together into its little puzzle, and I was able to finish the picture.
Nice. Um, so is there a specific scene that you kind of get excited or you're really looking forward to for readers to get to? Where you're like, ooh, I can't wait to hear what they think about this one scene.
The plot twist scene right after the battle.
Yeah.
When that happens, I want to because I did my best to make sure that the clues are there
Mm-hmm.
if you pick up on it, um, and being able to feel justified in how I wrote it. That enough people are like, this totally makes sense now,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Um, so yeah, I think that's the one because I do. My sister read it for me, and I was like, "What
Mm-hmm.
did you think of what happened with this scene?" And she's like, "I did not see that coming." So I was like,
You're like, yay! Did you love it?
"Yeah." So I'm looking forward to that plot twist and that revelation coming to light.
Nice. So what can we expect to see in the Death Gate trilogy for the next two books coming?
The next book is very focused on Brenna and Druce and trying to heal that rift
Mm-hmm.
while also bringing in some more antagonists from past and present. It's also about seeing Keen grow and looking into the history of everything that's going on as he starts to pick up on the clues on what's really happening and why this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Death Magic is the conclusion. That's the third book in the trilogy, and I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen in that one because I haven't written it yet.
Is there anything that you have off in your mind that you're like, I know I want this to happen, that you can tell us that wouldn't be spoilers?
No.
Absolutely not.
Anything that's definitively going to happen in Death Magic is something that needs to wait until you've read Blood Magic to understand. And I'm not going to spoil Blood Magic. So,
Yeah, that's fair.
unfortunately, you're gonna see more of the world. You're gonna see more of the dragons. The
Mm-hmm.
dragons come back into play here. You're gonna see um, more from the human side of things with Vesper, the sister, and her journeys into the magical world. You're going to see the relationship between these brothers and Brenna develop
Mm-hmm.
and continue to develop. Um, as well as their interactions with Druce, because he's pulled into this plot now and he has to do something about it too.
Yeah.
So you're going to see more of Druce. You're going to learn more about Druce, which I love because I love my Druce.
Yeah.
Getting to write him more into the story was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Sorry. If you keep seeing me turning and moving, my dog Archer is a Velcro dog and must constantly be pet. Um, total side note.
Yeah.
So when will the next book in the Death Gate trilogy be released?
The current plan is for Blood Magic to be released April of 2027.
Okay.
Um, the first draft is written. I just have to start it on my rewriting process, which I should be able to do now that Fey Magic is past that point. Um, and then Death Magic should be coming out April of 2028. If all goes well and no life crises happen that prevent that from occurring, which, crossing my fingers, I'm going to be doing my best to make sure that doesn't happen. I'm trying to get stuff done ahead of time so there's a buffer.
Yeah. So you have mentioned what you are currently working on, which is
Touched.
Fey Touched. Oh my god. The amount of times I've heard the name, the title of this book, and why I just spaced it, I have no idea. But you haven't really said much about what Fey Touched is about. So would you give the viewers a little sneak peek on what Fey Touch will be about? Because that's supposed to be coming out this fall.
It is coming out this fall.
Yeah.
Uh, Fate Touched is the story of two people that have what seems to be almost a fated meeting and how they deal with that
Mm-hmm.
and learning who the other person is what it is in the depths. On the surface, it's a story about were-tigers and werewolves. Because I can't write a story in contemporary literature.
And that's fine. That's okay.
Our heroes is the were-tiger that washes up on the beach, and Skitter is currently living on that beach, and she saves his life. And it's them learning how to rely on each other and find a way to get through the trials and tribulations that life has placed before them, because they are both wanted people who are both in hiding that have to figure out how to get somewhere safely
Yeah.
without dying.
That would be ideal. We don't want anyone dying, but it's going to happen.
Yes.
So last question. What is one piece of advice you would give to aspiring authors?
Keep going. Find the way that works for you. Keep writing. You're going to get rejected. And that is something you just have to keep picking yourself up and finding your own path sometimes. If you want to keep going and you can handle it one way, then do it that way. But also sometimes regroup and look and say, is this the best path for me? Or do I need to try something different? And not only in the sense of trying to publish your work, but also in writing your work. Like, it took me a while to get to where my process of I write the first draft and I print it out, and then I literally rewrite the entire book from scratch. Well, not scratch. I'm going off of the original first draft, but I'm not just editing in a Word document. I am rewriting the entire story in a fresh document. So
Mm-hmm.
trying different things and seeing what works for you
Yeah.
while still moving forward.
I will also add on to this and say, find yourself a good cheerleader.
Yeah, that too.
That's important.
I definitely have a great one.
It's always nice to have someone in your corner at the end of the day.
Yeah, for sure.
So that would bring us to the end of this. Did you want to do a book review?
I absolutely can if we want to.
It's entirely up to you if you want to do one or not. I don't have
Yeah,
a
it'll be
book
nice
to
to
review.
talk about a book that's not mine.
Yeah. Just, give yourself a little break from talking about your own work.
Right? That would be nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so book review. I read recently one of the more recent books in the Disney Twisted Tales, and that is How Far I'll Go by Keela Kendall. If you can't tell by the title, this is the story of Moana. And the twist in this tale is that Moana breaks the heart of Te Fiti.
Oh.
And she has to go on a quest to put it back together in order to bring Te Fiti back. And she has to meet up with another girl, and they have to work together to heal this heart. And without Maui, because Maui gets turned into stone.
Oh.
So Moana has to do this with the other girl, and that's it. So it was an interesting twist. I'm not gonna say it was my favorite in the Disney Twisted Tales. But it was really good. It did drag a little bit at times, but not enough that I wanted to DNF it at all. I wanted to see where this story was going.
Mm-hmm.
Keela Kendall, this is the first work that I've read by her. So I'm not going to comment on any other works that she's done. But no, she was a good author. It was a good writing style. Everything came together in the end. She gave you really good foreshadowing. Like, I definitely was picking stuff up and saying, oh, this is what's going to happen kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, How Far I'll Go by Keela Kendall in the Disney Twisted Tale series. It was a pretty good book. I enjoyed it. I'm currently reading the last, for now, book in the Disney Twisted Tale series, and that's based off of Up. And this one is a little more interesting to me, so I'm looking forward to reviewing that one.
Nice. So that would be the end of this episode. You can find us at writingwithwitches.com, and you can email us at writingwithwitches@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and YouTube. Found it. As well as we have our own Discord server, Writing with Witches. So if you want to come and hang out and talk with us, you definitely can. And you can find me at authornicoleautumn.com, as well as all the aforementioned platforms as author Nicole Autumn or Nicole Autumn author. I think that was Instagram. They didn't want me to have the author in front of my name for whatever reason. And I also have my own Discord server if you would like to join. And everything else will be linked below so you can find everything. Leona?
You're going to mainly find me on Facebook and Instagram at Leona Urbansky Author. Or you can go to my website, leonaurbansklyauthor.com, or sign up for my Substack at leonaurbansklyauthor.substack.com. Or you can find all of our books and merch at mythweaverbooks.com. That is our publishing house. We are also on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. You can find us there. Again, everything will be linked below.
Yes.
But yeah, you can find the whole Secret Society series available on the Mythweaver site, as well as Fire Magic, and any future books that we publish, you'll find there, as well as all of the merch. I can never say enough about the merch.
We love the merch. It's awesome. So next episode, we will be reviewing Arcana Academy by Elise Kova. And we will have a special guest with us. We will be having Alex Pfeiffer back on the podcast. So yeah, thank you all for listening and or watching. We hope you have a wonderful week, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.